Welcome to Now to Play Games. I am one of your hosts, John, and with me is the man who is very much suited down. It's Finn. Finn, what is happening, brother? How are you?
Sweatpants, cozy jumper, feeling warm.
Feeling warm?
Nice. Feeling
it's
good.
like I haven't seen you in like 48 hours.
12 hours. Like what? How long
It feels like 12 hours.
Yeah. Genuinely, I just collapsed after the Game Awards, and I had a big sleep.
Nice. Yeah, because it was what? We finished about 4 o'clock in the morning for you, so I can only imagine.
About 5 a.m. A crisp 5 a.m. Lie down for me.
My God.
And then I woke up at about 3:30, did some uni work for a while, played some Sable, went back to bed. It was a good time.
So the whole no going to buy clothes things didn't happen, it sounded like?
That'll happen at some point. I need to spend this money that I have. I just have £100 because of COVID and like high street, like they want people to spend money.
Yeah.
The government gave everyone £100. I gotta spend it.
Yeah.
I don't know when I'm gonna spend it.
Okay, so quick question. I see, you've said it a couple times now. £100. Is it not £100? Like plural is just £100?
You can say both.
Okay, I was like, I like those kind of like verbiages of like, oh, like $100. I have $1. Don't really say I've got $100. So I was like, is it different there?
That's one thing Americans don't have. Like you don't have fivers or tenors.
No, I got a $5. I got a $10.
$5. You got
$5.
Yeah.
Do you want $5? I got $5 just
Benjamin,
for you.
You got a Thomas Jefferson. You got a Abraham Lincoln. Is that?
That's a penny. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Got it. Cool.
Guys, we're off the rails. We're like five
already,
seconds in, and we're off the rails.
Look, that's okay. Let's bring it back. All right. Calm, cool, collected. We're still reeling from the Game Awards, but you know what? Let's start with something. Let's start with a palate cleanser, I guess, or maybe not. Hey, internet. Remember back in like 2019-ish, where we collectively bullied a company to change a character and how it looks in a movie, the design that no one wanted, and we're like, you know what? Screw it. We need something new because we want to be like closer to that concept of what the character should be like. Yes, I'm talking about Sonic, but I have to applaud you, internet, right now. I have to applaud you for going after a YouTube video and downvoting the hell out of it, because that's what you did with Ubisoft's NFTs. Let me tell you what happened with this one, because we were going to talk about it, and then the video got taken away thanks to you, internet. I'm pulling from Ubisoft's Luke Plunkett. Ubisoft is getting right into the business of NFTs, a space that is both an environmental catastrophe and an enormous pump and dump scam. And because that's a shitty place to be in, people have been quick to let the company know their feelings. The trailer for Ubisoft Quartz, that's an awful name, an NFT initiative which allows people to buy artificially scarce digital items using cryptocurrency, was uploaded to the company's YouTube page. It runs for 1 minute, 19 seconds, saying something and nothing all at the same time. What it doesn't show, of course, is that Ubisoft has no idea what it's doing. And Quartz's fine print pretty much says so. It reveals that because so much of the work is being handed off to the blockchain, Ubisoft has no power to reverse or cancel transactions and is not liable for claims or damages, is aware that the blockchain may be subject to specific weaknesses, which may make them possible targets for crypto or specific cyber security threats, and again, still has no liability and risks implied by the use of this new technology. So good for you, Ubisoft. At the time of the posting of this Ubisoft post, the video, which was viewed about 148,000 times with 1,000 likes, I don't know who you people are, probably crypto bros, had 24,000 dislikes. That is a 96% dislike ratio, which by the math says people do not like what this video is about. Not at all. And I want to point out that this is for Ghost Recon Breakpoint, a game no one's playing. Why, Ubisoft, did you decide to go? Exactly. NFTs, first off, are still very odd and very weird, into a game that no one really cares about, which is probably you just dipping your toes in there. And I'm just like, but why? And I didn't put this in the article, but if you go through their like terms of service and just read one by one, you can't show the NFT, you can't sell it. only on their market, but again, Ubisoft doesn't like claim any responsibility if something bad happens. And it's just very odd and just kind of shows that there's a board of directors just sitting there going, what are these NFTs? I need to know what these NFTs are. I need to make money. We're giving them away for free, and then people are going to sell them. We're going to get a cut out of this, but they have to sell them on a specific market. This is just Ubisoft. Perception wins, my friend. And you're up a creek right now with things that people are not talking about, which I don't understand. And then you go ahead and do this shit too. I
didn't realize we were coming in this hot to the podcast.
Oh yeah, I was like, usually I come in kind of soft and goofy, but I'm coming in hot. I'm feeling spicy today, guys. I'm feeling spicy. Finn, how are you feeling about this?
A bit like bittersweet, because like I feel like this is the last time something like this will happen, where the video has been delisted now because it's been so heavily disliked. Obviously, with YouTube dislikes going away or being hidden, this is probably not going to happen again, because there'll be no like easy way. Like this has happened so many times, right? Where like people just dislike something into oblivion, and it sometimes actually results in change of the thing. And I feel like we're just not going to get that anymore. And the whole thing with YouTube removing dislikes is one thing. When it comes to NFTs and Ubisoft, I guess, were just the first to stick their neck out there and brand NFTs as their own thing. Everyone else is going to do this. EA is coming with their own. And the thing with NFTs is it's not something that can't be done using existing technology. Like no benefits of NFTs are something that only NFTs can do.
Yeah.
It's the thing where these companies have to use those three letters in board of directors meetings and investor meetings, because it gets them off. And it gets them to, bring in their money. That is an image I don't need to ever think of ever again when it comes to a board of directors. I'm going to be absolutely honest with you. That's all it is. It's just them getting them off. And they're like, oh, yeah, here. There you go. It's like a one giant strip club for capitalism. That's what investor meetings are.
I mean, not wrong.
NFT is the main event.
You know what? With that, welcome to Now to Play Games, your weekly news dump about all the video game news you need to know about. We do this live every Saturday at 4 p.m. Central, 10 p.m. British here on twitch.tv/Now to Play Games. If you can't hang out with us live, we got you covered. Just search Now to Play Games over on YouTube to find all the Now to Play videos you need to know about. We have this podcast, Now to Play Games, our monthly Playdate podcast, reactions to things like the Game Awards, and all sorts of other fun things. While you're there, go ahead and subscribe and ring the bell so you know when another video drops just for you. If you're listening to this on your favorite podcast service, thank you. Go ahead and follow us. Give us a review if you can. Tell your friends to listen to Now to Play Games wherever they listen to podcasts. Last but not least, we have ramped up our social media, so you need to be cool. Please be cool. Go find and follow Now to Play Games on Twitter and Instagram at Now to Play Games. We have some housekeeping for you guys. We have not one, not two, not three videos, but three videos. We actually tend to have four because we put this on YouTube as well. Over on the Now to Play YouTube channel, we have December's Playdate, which was a lot of fun recording. We have the NTPG Game of the Year Battle Royale. And, of course, we have our reaction to the Game Awards. So please go check them out. Leave a comment and go ahead and like it. And again, subscribe. Speaking of YouTube and subscribing, this is my call to action, guys. I have been learning how to do that. If everyone will go sub to the Now to Play Games YouTube channel, we would 100% love it, because we want to be able to tell you, go to youtube.com/Now to Play Games. We can't right now. It's an amalgamation of letters and numbers, and I don't really want to tell you all those letters and numbers, but it's going to be easier if I just say youtube.com/Now to Play Games. But if you go subscribe and get us to the 100 subs, that's all we need to get the cool, fancy URL. John, myself, will play Crash Bandicoot 4 in its entirety in one sitting. That is what I'm giving to you. This has to be done by January 1st, 2022. I looked this bad boy up, and it is 10 hours of John going through Crash Bandicoot 4. And if you know how much that if you don't know how much that pains me, go to YouTube, find Couchcapades. That's another channel Rose and I have been doing for a long time, and just look up the Crash Bandicoot series and feel my pain.
Finn,
I'm going to do that just for you.
I'm going to tap you in on that. I don't know if I can sit through 10 hours straight of Crash Bandicoot.
I'll sit through 100 hours of Jon playing Crash Bandicoot 4, to be honest. You can 100% it. You can platinum that, baby, if you want. I'll be there the whole ride. I'm assuming it will take more than 10 hours.
It probably will. It'll be a whole... it is a big claim, and I'm going to do it. I'm Jon. I'm a man of my word, so if you get us there before January 1st, 2022... you're going to get a Crash Bandicoot stream. Crash 4 the whole way through, baby. It's going to be fun times.
I would love that. Please, chat. Do the right thing.
Make it easy on us.
Universe, you know?
The universe wants this. The universe loves when Jon rages at a game, and me and Crash Bandicoot, we do not have a good relationship. I'm going to let you know that. All right, with all of that, it's time to load up the news. We have 4 stories, including PlayStation picking up another developer. Nintendo actually loses something? Oh my goodness. But first, you know what? Let's go ahead and recap some of the Game Awards. Finn? Myself, Rose, and Keith were all there. And you know what? It was a great time. And if you really do want to see the whole reaction, the inside jokes of not having hands, you know what? You should go to youtube.com and find Now to Play Games and watch that whole reaction stream. It was a lot of fun. Right off the bat, Finn, how are you feeling? We are a couple days removed, and I want to know if your feelings have changed. I know you well enough that you've probably watched this thing 28 different times. You probably dreamed about it 28 different times, so... I don't know how many times you've actually seen it, but are you still at the A? What did you like? What didn't you like? Now that we're a couple days removed from it.
Watched the show in its entirety a few times now, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Why can't I just watch these things like they're nothing and I can't play 3 games? It's weird.
It scares
Why is that
me.
a problem for me? I have no idea. But yeah, I'm still pretty high on the show. Still would consider it an A. One of the better events of the year, one of the better Game Awards shows. I think they've struck a really, really good balance this year between having it be an award show and also an industry show and also a consumer show. I think it was very well balanced throughout.
Okay.
One thing, it's very hard to adjust, but there were a few times during that award show watching it back where developers were giving their speeches and they got cut off. Like, it seems a little bit early.
Yeah.
And that kind of sucks because you want them to have their moment. You want everyone to have that Joseph Fares moment where they're just like on top of the world. And yeah, it kind of sucks that they cut them off. And like some awards, they just skip through altogether and don't get speeches, like Best RPG, Best Family Game, Best Fighting Game. Like those categories, I guess, get no kind of love. So it's a hard thing to balance.
Yeah.
But yeah, one thing I'd change about the show, like next year, if you're having both announcements and awards during your pre-show, don't call it a pre-show. It's the main show.
It's the main show. Yeah.
Stop calling it a pre-show. It's not pre-anything.
Now you're dropping big stuff at the very beginning of this, like Tunic and an actual release date for Tunic and a couple banger trailers with Sidney Goodman and doing the pre-show stuff, and we were not ready for that on our actual our pre-show, and you actually see it in the video, like, oh crap, big news, and we all start freaking out, and then we have to just go ahead and bring up the show, and we'll react to that. Okay, I'm not gonna play devil's advocate. I think they're still missing a lot when it comes to this show. Is it better? 100% better. But I think it's still missing identity, because I don't think the balance is there, in my opinion, because it is still one of those. Is it an award show? Is it a big announcement E3 show? Is it a show for like what is the show? Because I agree with you when it comes to there needs to be more time for some of these developers, because like Keighley and Sidney Goodman just kind of plowed through maybe 90% of those announcements for the winners, the announcements for who won specific games. And I think that's kind of sad, but I'm also coming from a point where Rose and I watch freaking the Oscars every year. It has been a tradition since we've been together that we watch the Oscars, and trust me, they're boring as hell, guys.
Oh yeah, I really don't want this show to turn into the Oscars.
And I don't, and I'm not saying it should, but I'm just saying that there's got to be a balance, because at the end of the day, it really is. It's a giant commercial, and I understand that, and I follow the logic behind that. But it's still one of those. Okay, even with the Oscars, we're like, all right, we're coming up to a lull in the commercial break. We can go run around and get some food real fast, get something to drink. But we're so like it ebbs and flows when it comes to the Oscars. With this, it's just a straight line of we have to be on the ball, ready to go. And I'm still trying to figure out like where does it have to go? Like we need a little more oomph behind it, because after a while, as much as I love Jeff Keighley, I do believe they probably should bring in other people and like have them do some announcements or have them like give awards out. Because I mean, the only other person that gave out an award, I mean, we had Reggie, we had Neil Druckmann, and those are the only two I can actually think of.
There was that basketball player guy.
Oh yeah,
there was a few actors as well. I think Ellie and Abby, like Ashley Johnson and
you know what? That's right. There were those.
They gave,
But yeah, it's like it's this weird amalgamation. Like I still think it's great. I still enjoy the hell out of doing it and having just being able to sit there and watch it with everyone and react and all that fun stuff. But I'm still like, and it's got to be a balance thing. And I know, Rose, you listen to Jeff Keighley's podcast, so jump in whenever if you have any kind of insight of what Jeff said, because I can't imagine just the absolute chaos that it is when it comes to like finding that specific identity when it comes to the game awards, because it's like we have the Game Awards. Is it an extension of the Summer Game Fest? Like, where is that? Or like, I want them to be kind of distinct and different, but still kind of have intertwining concepts, which I know it's a big ask. And Jeff, I'm not calling you out on that one. I'm just saying there's got to be a little bit more defined concepts when it comes to that, in my opinion.
Yeah. In the podcast, then Keighley actually talks about how when they started the Game Awards years ago, he was going around to all these different companies talking, just, hey, do you have anything? Can I please show something? We have a space. We really want to show something. Now it's you want to show how many things? This show can't be 6 hours long. Now they have the problem of there's too much.
Yeah.
So
and I think 3 hours is long. I'm going to be honest with you. And like, I don't think there's a way to cut it down to 2. Well, actually, no, I take that back. It is 3.5 hours long. We just said it. Yeah. It is 3.5 hours long.
How long are the Oscars, John?
3 hours.
Yeah.
And that's where I know. And it's just everyone coming up. Even if you win back-to-back awards, like you come up and you keep on saying, you get to a point where you're like, okay, I'm here. Thank you for the award. And you walk off. But yeah, I wish there was something a little bit more, because in my head personally, I'm like, what am I preparing for? Am I preparing for a award show? Am I preparing for E3 hype? Am I preparing for Facebook gaming? What do I need to do to fully enjoy this? And I'm not saying I don't, but just how to prepare for all this stuff. And that's kind of my biggest with the Game Awards, because at the end I was drained. We were all drained, but then I was like, what was it like? And I know it probably will never fit into its own category, but I was just like, what was the Game Awards? Because was it about award? Is it about celebrating the people who made the games? Is it about here's these cool front loaded announcements? Or is it about the commercials, which I mean, I guess at the end of the day, we just have to know that it's a giant freaking commercial.
That's what it is for me. I see it as a celebration of the industry as a whole. I think if you're looking for more of a pure awards thing, sort of recognizing the artistry, the technical stuff behind the industry, you're looking for something maybe more like the DICE Awards, or just like individual outlets awards, depending on who you like to follow. Things like that. For me, yeah, the Game Awards is more just games in all its forms, whether it's looking back or looking forward. The awards are just a preface for the show to exist. After that, it just becomes hey, let's show whatever we can. Like, it is now a consumer show. For the industry people to all be in one place and have an excuse for that.
That's cool. I love that.
Like, have an end of the year party, essentially, where they're all in LA and all together, or at least most of them all be together. So that, I think, is the sort of reason why it's still considered an award show. But really, it is for people like us who do reaction videos, and for people who like to keep up with gaming news and see the latest trailers and stuff. That's what it's for. And it's also just like an annual way for the games industry to put its stamp out there for the mainstream. Like, especially now that E3 has just continued to dwindle and dwindle. Like,
True.
You want to talk about an identity crisis? E3 is the biggest identity crisis of all.
Not going to fight you on that one, yeah, 100%.
And so, like, you see, these New York Times and Washington Post articles going up about the Game Awards, and they sort of like understand like the excitement about like what the games industry is excited about, what people like us are excited about, what was the sort of snubs, what was the really big winners this year. It gives people an idea, again, like just having the awards, like beyond the speeches and stuff, just having award winners gives an idea of people for what to play, like what are the best games of the past year. Like just look at that nominations list for Game of the Year. That's 6 fantastic games.
Oh yeah,
just
100%.
go play if you haven't. So it's good for people that way as well. Honestly, I get why like people find it long, but this is just a weird Fin thing where it's my bread and butter. I could take a 6-hour long Game Awards show.
Oh my God.
I'll do it.
Please, Jeff, don't
Not
do
a
that
word
to
of a
us.
lie, and you know it.
Look, we do the 6-8 hour stuff when it comes to E3. I don't think I could do a Game Award stuff, or if I do, I'm going to literally have to call in the next day from work, so I just get through it. And I already take the week off of E3, so you know what? All right, let's jump into it, Fin. Let's start us off. What do we got? Let's go through some of the highlights, stuff that we liked, and end, of course, on Game of the Year. Kick us off,
I was going to talk to you about this before the show, but it's fine to do it now, I think. We're going to go through these games here. We're going to not do a full recap of the show again. If you want a full recap, go and watch our reactions video, now available on the YouTube channel, or as evolved on Twitch if you like watching videos on Twitch. But yeah, we're going to go through like any updates and any like extra information we found on these games that were announced. Do you want to tag team these games? Like, so I take a game and then you take a game.
Sure. We can do that
back to back.
Yeah,
we can do that. Okay, so I'll start off. The Expanse, a Telltale series, was announced. It was during the pre-show as well, I think. This is actually a co-development between Telltale and Deck 9, who developed Life is Strange True Colors, which I didn't know. And that sort of puts like a bit more faith in it for me. Just as an idea, like a bit more... They showed off a bit more like action-y... Well, not really the gameplay, but like it seemed that you weren't just going to have these cinematic dialogue choices. You'll be doing a bit of moving around and stuff. So I actually have a bit more faith in that as an idea now. This is the first new IP to be announced by Telltale since the company reformed in 2019. Telltale also previously announced it is in production of the sequel to The Wolf Among Us. Forgot about that.
Yeah, me too.
It is set prior to the events of the TV series. Players take on the role of Kamina Drummer, played by the actress Kara Gi, in both the game and the TV series. So it's cool. I don't know if they're going to bring in the whole TV cast or whether she's like in her own sub-story or whatever, but it's cool that at least one part of crossover. Because that was a weird thing in Game of Thrones where you're not like actually playing as the people in the show when you're playing the Telltale game. It's weird. This is in the early stages of production and is expected to be released for PC and leading consoles. What do you think leading
I don't know what the hell that actually means, but sure, leading
consoles.
consoles.
You're in the console wars, they get it. you get it.
All right, this is...
No, very cool. I just have a friend who's constantly trying to get me to watch The Expanse. And so he'll definitely be excited about this for sure.
I wonder if they're calling it leading consoles because the Switch is like a half generation. So it's not like...
Yeah, not Switch.
Like the Switch is current generation, but it's also not.
Good point.
Right. So I'm guessing that's what they mean.
For sure. Yeah, PS5, Xbox Series X and S, but no Switch probably.
Yeah. And The Expanse is on Apple TV, yes? I'm trying to remember where this is at.
It's on Amazon Prime.
Amazon Prime, thank you.
It was something else, but it got cancelled, and then Amazon Prime picked it up, and it's been going ever since. I think a new season recently just dropped.
Gotcha, okay. All right, this one, Rose jumped on because she saw just the name, and I freaking love the name. The next one we're going to talk about is Thirsty Suitors. This one, can Jayla handle her demanding parents? God, sorry.
Jon cannot handle his demanding saliva.
Can't demand. Reconcile with her exes and
disapproving look.
I know. And men broken.
I was considering like, do you want me to take this one? How bad is this?
No. I literally swallowed and I died a little bit, so that's my fault. Okay. Men broken friendships in time with her sister's in time for her sister's wedding. Will she be ready to for the impending visit of Nani, the family's terrifying and judgmental matriarch? Through the game's story, Jayla will confront her exes in cinematic, turn-based battle sequences. So it looks like the gameplay will include combat, turn-based over the top combat with upgrades, special abilities, and a unique mood system that will let you take advantage of vulnerabilities, take the fight to the skate punks, random suitors, and ultimately your exes. Very Scott Pilgrim, and I'm loving it. Skateboarding, dog. Skate, grind, and wall run across timber hills with interactive movesets, combos, and challenges. Unravel the mysteries of Barefoot Park while battling skate punks and their leaders, Soundy the Bear. That is awesome. And there's cooking, Rose. Of course there's cooking. Try to impress your mom and repair your relationship with action-packed cooking segments while exploring a rich menu of delicious South Asian-inspired dishes. I'm in. This sounds great.
Look, I'm 1,000% in on this.
This game, like, just the idea behind this game, and the trailer shows this off really well, is just the huge amount of like culture and character packed into it, and this family dynamic. I feel like a lot of people will like empathize with this game because it's very unique, and they'll be like, "Oh, this is like my family," that's just cool. And it's like skateboarding and grinding and wall running. Like, they didn't have to do that probably, but I'm in for it.
Yeah, they just went all out on this one, and yeah, 100%. Let's go. All right, Finn, I know this is your baby right now.
Yeah, Senua's Saga Hellblade 2. Just a quick... there's not much to say other than the trailer. I just wanted to quickly lay in on this one. This is from the chief creative ninja to meme, Antoniades, I think.
We'll go with it.
He says, what we're doing right now is building a good chunky slice of the game before we then move into full production to build out the rest, he said in the video. Just makes me think this game is further, or like not as far along as I thought it was. Maybe not a 2022 game.
That's from that. I don't know if it's 2022 either. I thought it would be, but if it is like holiday 2022.
Right.
If that. Mm-hmm. All right. Wonder Woman. Yes, that got announced. The single-player open-world action game will introduce an original story set in the DC universe and allow players to become Diana of Themyscira. Did I say that right, Rose?
Themyscira,
thank you. In the fight to unite her Amazon family and the humans from the modern world, powered by the Nemesis engine, which is actually really cool. Gamers will forge deep connections with both enemies and allies as they progress through a heroic fighter into a proven leader. I saw this system. And I thought this looked so cool. And the fact that we get Monolith is doing it and we get the Nemesis system, that's great. Let's go.
Yeah, it's the Nemesis system in a superhero game.
Yes.
Yeah. It's all about the licenses with these guys. They're like, Lord of the Rings, not enough. We need DC. And if you won't give us Superman, we'll take Wonder Woman. Because, like, that's the thing. Like, nobody's going to build a Superman game, apparently. So it's like, Wonder Woman. I'll play the hell out of a Wonder Woman game.
Yeah, damn straight.
Dude, the Nemesis system with the lasso of truth, and you can get them to confess stuff. That would be cool.
Yeah. That's kind of how I'm hoping it's gonna like activate is the lasso of truth is just in that you follow them, and it just that Nemesis system's always there because you either got them to tell you something they didn't want and they're like vengeful from it. I can't wait to see how this actually plays out.
Cool. That's not fun with me. Yeah, sorry.
Yes.
Alan Wake 2 is coming 2023 for PC via the Epic Game Store, PlayStation 5, and Xbox Series X and S. So it's a next-gen only game, no PS4 and Xbox with that. They were clearly stated that. They said not only that, but Alan Wake 2 also turns up the level of dread as our very first dive into the survival horror genre. So expect a chilling experience with familiar psychological horror elements. Not often you see genre changes between sequels.
No.
Survival horror is something that like fans of that, like of Resident Evil, things like that, they love. So they're gonna eat this up, I'm sure. And it seems like this stuff is gonna get even darker with Alan Wake. And they also said now that the sequel has been announced and the trailer's out, we're going to go dark until summer of 2022, when we'll return to shed more light on the game. I
respect the hell out of that.
Yeah, they're just like, hey, no more for a while.
No more.
Right? No more.
You got it. We're going away now. See you later. And I that tempers expectations, and I freaking 100% love that. I'm going to ask why you put Nightingale in here, but I'll read it. I got this. I saw that. I'm like, what? Okay. Nightingale. The Nightingale is led by ex-BioWare GM Aaron Flynn. Nightingale is a shared world survival crafting game set within a rich Victorian gas lamp fantasy setting. It's in development right now for early access PC in 2022.
Right. So, John, I completely forgot about this, but thinking back on it, during the pre-show, I said Dragon Age 4 was a lock for the Game Awards.
That's true, you did.
Because this person, Aaron Flynn, had tweeted out that they'll be at the Game Awards showing the next game.
Oh, that makes more sense.
Did not realize that he had left and formed his own company, so this is what that was referring to.
Gotcha. Okay.
I think people are a lot more excited about this game now that they know it's led by ex-BioWare people than they would have been otherwise. So I think people are hyped on this.
I mean, it looks gorgeous, and I'll be honest, it's piqued my interest. I'll see what the early access is like in 2022. I'm down.
Looks gorgeous. It looks stylized.
Well, I mean, stylized, gorgeous, tomato.
Yeah. I just don't know, man. Yeah, to be fair, it looks like an early access game. So you're getting what you're getting. This is a quick one. Xbox Game Pass for PC is now known as PC Game Pass. Just trying to clear up some confusion with that. That's just PC Game Pass now.
PC Game Pass.
Rebranded.
I'm going to take the next two because I threw one in there. I don't know if you saw that.
Oh, you did, yeah. Go.
Yeah. All right. So first, I'm going to be honest with you guys. Sonic Frontiers is literally Breath of the Wild with Sonic. That's it. No, we're not saying rebrand. No, we didn't say that word. Sonic Frontiers. Sonic Frontiers looks freaking awesome. An experience like never before. Accelerate to new heights and experience the thrill of high velocity, open zone freedom. Battle powerful enemies as you speed through the Starfell Islands. Landscapes are brimming with dense forests, overflowing waterfalls, dazzling deserts, and more. This is slated for holiday 2022. And my God, I'm so hyped for this game. Will it be trash? I hope not, because I think a Sonic the Hedgehog, Breath of the Wild. Look at that. Look at the trailer. It looks awesome.
Yeah.
And it had the piano.
Yeah. They really did. They know what they were going. Every game developer played Breath of the Wild and went, "Oh fuck," because they knew that next 10 years is going to be okay. We have to make Breath of the Wild for us now.
Breath of the Hedgehog. I like that
for sure. The open zone stuff is interesting. So it makes me think that it's not one massive open world. It's still going to be zones like Green Hill Zone, things like that. But it's going to be open. So like you still select from a menu. Hey, I want to play this zone. But once you get in the zone, you can go wherever you want.
Wherever you want, yeah. And so, hubbed out. I still think that'd be kind of cool. But yeah, this looks... Team Sonic, please. Just a 7 is good enough. Let's go.
We're making a lot of comparisons to Breath of the Wild. A little bit of Shadow of the Colossus in there.
There is Shadow of the Colossus at the end, yes.
I hope the boss battles are like him running up
this
giant, like, monolithic boss and, like, taking out parts of it, like Shadow of the Colossus. Or like fast.
I would love it have that feel of just that's what something Heart Machine's new game it does really well.
Solar Ash, yeah.
Solar Ash does that really well, just climbing these monsters and sliding up them and attacking them. It feels great. So if they can kind of harness that, but with the speed of Sonic, I think we might have a fantastic hit on our game, on our hands, on our game. What the hell? All right, I had to throw this one. Have a Nice Death. This looks absolutely amazing. And actually, IGN's Joe Scribbles actually had to write up and talk to the devs, so I'm going to give you guys this real fast. Starring as Death, players will travel through the headquarters of Death Incorporated, fighting against employees that have been reaping too many souls with departmental heads as bosses. Each run through with procedurally generated underworld offices will even end with a performance review of your skills. The game will include 30 weapons and spells to use, as well as a number of upgrades that each come with pros and cons. This is Nicolas Leger. Did I say that right? I think I said that close enough. I wrote it's
Nicolas Leger.
There it is. If Death has had the same routine as us, how would he or she live? This question is the driving force behind Have a Nice Death. The game mixes a passion of 2D animation, fast and furious combat, and compelling visual effects with a Maccabee universe that comes to life through dark but burlesque humor.
Macabre.
The end game. Thank you. The end game is our team's point of view on the contemporary corporate world and a compelling look at what Death's life would be like if he were one of us. This is coming out early access March 2022.
Yeah, a little bit of again, you can make so many comparisons with this game, but also it looks so unique. Like I was saying, every 3D game developer played Breath of the Wild and said, "Oh fuck." Every 2D game developer played Hollow Knight and said, "Oh fuck."
Yeah, that's pretty much what it is.
There's a little bit of Hollow Knight in here, a little bit of Death's Door. just a little bit of everything. But compelling visual effects for sure. This game looks gorgeous, and I can't wait to play it. And it's interesting. It's going to be a little bit Hades in there as well, because you're working on like Hades is doing paperwork. This guy's doing paperwork. He's at an office desk, whatever.
A little bit of Death's Door too.
That's what I say. Yeah, a little bit of Death's Door. Yeah, they're all like working,
doing all that stuff. So yeah, it's pulling from a lot of different things, and just the art style alone got me. And then when I read that, I was like, oh, this is great. I'm 100% in on this one.
Cuphead, the delicious last course. Just thought this quote was interesting from the press release, so I thought I'd read it out. There are individual phases of bosses in the delicious last course that contain more frames of animation than entire bosses in the original Cuphead. And we think fans and newcomers alike will really appreciate the depth and detail on display. That's why it took so long, guys. They're really pouring everything into this.
Heart and soul, blood and tears.
The amount of love they poured into this trailer alone.
Yeah.
So much love and care just going into this game. They're really not like... This is the opposite of selling out. They're cashing in.
Yeah.
Just on the love and care that's going into this game.
This game's going to beat me, and I'm going to love it. It's going to be so hard, and I cannot wait. Little weird that it's coming out in June.
Right? You have this new playable character, right? Does that mean you can do 3-player co-op now, or is it just another? I
think so, yeah, because you had Cuphead, Mugman, and that is the Chalice.
Miss Chalice, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm wondering if we will have 3-player co-op on this one. I'm not 100% sure if they actually said yes or no, but it would make a lot of sense to have all 3 of them go at the same time, which would make the game just tremendously hard, because single player is hard enough. It ramped up if you played co-op, so another person there is going to be damn near impossible. My God. All right, since I took 2, do you want this one?
I took the last one. Yeah, this is yours. This
is mine. I was trying to be nice. All right, Star Trek Resurgence from Dynamic Labs, coming out in spring 2022 on PS5 and 4, Xbox Series, and Epic Game Store. Developed by Dramatic Labs, 20-plus former Telltale game staff, and using Unreal Engine. Narrative adventure game featuring dialogue choices, relationship building, and exploration. It's going to be set in 2380 in the era immediately following Star Trek The Next Generation feature films. Features an all-new crew on an all-new starship, but also includes characters that are fan favorites. I'm going to defer to both you, Finn, and Rose, because she is a Trekkie.
I'm not a Trekkie. So,
you're not a Trekkie? Yeah, Rose, tell me how you feel about this one, because you're the only Trekkie here. Mother of God.
Look, I am super excited about this. Star Trek is such a good choice for a Telltale-style game, because in Star Trek, the future is just very peaceful. We have evolved as humans. We're not trying to destroy everything and ourselves. And it's just a very nice time. We're trying to go out and save others from themselves. So I think this is going to be fantastic.
Awesome.
What was that? Yeah, what was the last big Star Trek game we had? Because I remember that co-op one that people kind of liked. But other than that,
there's a 3D one. Or not 3D one, the VR one.
Game. Oh, yeah, the Bridge Crew thing?
Yeah, Bridge Crew. Yeah, that was the last big Star Wars game.
I was always
people
a
like that
setup, though.
Star Trek. Get it right.
I only ever got it working. We used to demo it when we had VR headsets. We used to demo it at our university during open days, to get people excited about VR and tech. And yeah, that's the only real experience I've had with that game. Because getting 4 players together with 4 VR headsets and getting it all to work, that's the whole thing.
Yeah,
playing a single player Telltale-esque experience, I think, is going to be much more
story-driven stuff like that. Riley, I agree with you in chat. Star Trek is about storytelling. So yeah, if they take the essence of what Telltale did good when it came to storytelling, this is going to be amazing, and I can't wait.
The Matrix Awakens is an Unreal Engine 5 experience, and it looks insane. And John played it.
It is insane. To the point, I mean this in the best way possible, to the point that I got sick because my mind started doing that thing of, is it real? Am I right. watching a game, or am I watching actually Keanu Reeves in real life? And I could not for the life of me figure it out. This whole thing is kind of just, it is nothing but a tech demo for Unreal Engine 5. And the amount of AI processing that is in this game is absolutely ridiculous. I want to say it's a 17 kilometer square that they put you in. It's got 23,000 cars flowing at the same time, traffic patterns, people walking around. It actually gives you a little gunplay in it. People are talking. It breaks the fourth wall, which is something I really, really like, because it literally, you have Neo, and then Keanu Reeves comes out, and he's like, "Hi, I'm Keanu Reeves, and I played this character 20 years ago, and at that time, we introduced like bullet time and all that stuff. But now, we're in a video game, guys, and this shit is crazy."
Yeah. I honestly, John, I haven't had access to my PS5 for a while, and there's so many games I'm waiting to catch up to play. I think the first thing I'm going to do as soon as I have my hands on a DualShock 5 is download this demo and just play around with it.
Play around,
like the Matrix. I don't even
just
care about
play
the
around
Matrix.
with it. Like the fighting was so like the destruction is so dynamic, because they literally like shoot out the tires, and all the agents are starting to like fly away or like disintegrate, but the cars are still there, and it looks like you're watching a movie, and it is very like uncanny valley strange now. Like we're getting to that point. And so you're just, you go through all the stuff, you can jump in, and they kind of give you free roam for the entire square that you're in the city. You can fly around, you can drive cars. And I chose to actually get into a truck and just rear end someone, and just how realistic the damage to the car was blew my damn mind. And this is the promise of what games will be in 5 years. Mm-hmm. Like let me take that back. This is the promise of the future of gaming, because it is going to be uncanny. It's going to be crazy. The realistic concepts of that dense population of a city, and everyone's doing their own thing, and you are technically just one dot, and you do but don't affect the world, which is kind of what life is. So it got really like trippy for me last night when I played this, and I was like, this is insane, and I'm really, really excited to see who takes advantage of Unreal 5 first. Mm-hmm. And it's only on Xbox Series X and PS5, just to let everyone know.
Yeah, no PC. You can't handle it. You don't have graphics cards, we know.
Yeah, we don't. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, do you want me to take this next one? This last one?
Yeah, sure, take it.
Yeah. It Takes Two, one game of the year at the Game Awards. Shoutouts. Joseph Fares got to have his nice speech. I just want to
told us to take kids.
Article. Yeah. If you don't got kids, go get some kids.
Go get some kids.
We don't care how you do it.
Just go get some kids. I'm like, Joseph Fares, I don't think you should say that.
Yeah. The Verge, Ash Parrish at The Verge, easily my favorite headline of the entire year. Game dev known for cursing at the Game Awards curses at the Game Awards while winning Game Awards. Very, very good. Yeah, it was a heartfelt. It was a really nice speech, and you could see like how much it meant to him, and it just everything felt right. And yeah, it was. And it really deserves it. Like It Takes Two, just a fantastic game. Joseph Fares tweeted out, really crazy to win the game of the year at the Game Awards. Me and the team are super happy, just to give his love to the team there. And yeah, if you want to see just one more time, right? Just one more time. If you want to see what we decided is our game of the year and how we decided it and what arguments took place, you can go over now to youtube.com, find How to Play Games, and look up our game of the year selection video and see what we thought about this whole thing and what we gave game of the year. Was It Takes Two in the nominees list? You might be surprised, or maybe not. We'll see. But that was, just such a nice note to end the Game Awards on. Really feel good moment. Really such a unique Game Awards moment as well.
Yes.
That is like an argument in favor of like having more speeches and stuff, because you get to see these people and they're not selling stuff to you. They're just being themselves and being real. And that's, I think, at the end of the day, that's what I would really like, is just more seeing people be people, because Joseph Fares is just like that, and I think that's something I would really like to do. Or the lady who won for Lady Dimitrescu, and how she was just overcome with excitement. So I thought that was really, really cool. Yep. All right, moving on. God, I get to do this one. This is going to be fun. Look, what's a Now to Play Games podcast without actually having to talk about Activision Blizzard? It's back again, guys, and I'm going to power through this as best I can, as fast as I can. There's a lot of quotes going on, so just buckle in, sit down, grab some popcorn. Let's go. Let's do this. This has like a twinge of hope, though. This one,
there
like
is, yes,
swing, yeah,
yes, twinge of hope. I'm just letting you know, but I'm going to just power through this right now. I'm pulling from Matt Kim and IGM. On Monday, December 6th, members of the Ravensoft Raven Software QA team announced that it would hold a walkout to protest the layoffs of a dozen QA contractors working Call of Duty games like Vanguard and Warzone. The walkout is now gandered, oh my God,
Garnered?
the support of the wider Activision Blizzard companies, with walkouts from ABK employees in Texas, Minnesota, and California joining in. The article continues, Activision Blizzard leadership, meanwhile, has pushed back on the team layoffs, instead explaining that the company has chosen not to extend the contracts of the 20 temporary workers. Ravensoft QA team says that it is unacceptable given that Activision Blizzard also announced plans to return 500 temporary workers into full-time employees, and that the contractors were terminated in good standing, meaning it was not a result of their performance at work. This going on, pulling this one. We were talking about this last week when those QA developers or testers got laid off last week. And now this is just the ramifications of it. So this is from Eurogamer Tom Phillips. Activision Blizzard employees are launching a bid for unionization as fresh strike action, and a 1 million fund to support the workers has been announced. Several staff members have spoken out publicly on social media to say that now have received and signed union cards. Meanwhile, a better ABK group of employees have confirmed a further strike will be held today. Oops, I hit a button. Didn't mean to do that. Let me go back to that. Today, the ABK Workforce Alliance announces the initiation of its strike. The group announced via Twitter this afternoon, we encourage our peers in the game industry to stand with us in creating lasting change. For those who wish to join in solidarity, please consider donating to our strike fund. Management told employees they will not be paid for their walkout after Wednesday, which would have been Wednesday the 8th. Washington Post journalist Shannon Lau wrote on Twitter, workers still plan to strike today. The strike fund is supposed to create financial security for those who choose to walk out. You know what? I said the 8th. It might not be the 8th. It might be the 15th. I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't get that.
It might be this Wednesday.
It might be this Wednesday. So if I misquoted that, I apologize. A GoFundMe page for the ABK Strike Fund is now live with around $15,000 raised at the time of writing. I checked before we actually started this podcast. It is now over $275,000. Today's first step towards unionization, the handing out of union cards, is part of the process a workforce must go through to gain collective bargaining rights. Under the National Labor Relations Act, employees have the right to collectively bargain through a union if a majority of employees agree. Video games industry lawyer Richard Hogue, I hope I pronounced that right, a host of the Virtual Legacy Legality podcast, told Tom Phillips. Continuing on with Eurogamer, but this is from Matt Wells. Now we're jumping to what Activision has done now that unionization has started, or the process. Let me say it that way. I got to say technical terms right. The process of unionization has actually started, and so Activision is now kind of starting the union busting concepts. This is from Matt Wells, Eurogamer. It's in the climate that Activision Blizzard's chief administrative officer, Brian Bulatow, I believe, has now written to company employees in an email shared by Washington Post journalist Shannon Lau. In the email, Bulatow revisits previous talking points regarding the steps Activision is taking to address its heavily criticized company culture, but the bulk of his message directly focuses on recent reports of attempted unionization among staff. Although Bulatow begins by telling workers the leadership of Activision Blizzard supports your right under the National Labor Relations Act, NLRA, to make your own decisions about whether or not to join a union. He then dictates the following 3 paragraphs to framing unionization in a less than positive light. As you make this decision for your future, we ask only that you take time to consider the consequences of your signature on the binding legal document presented to you by the Communications Workers of America. Once you sign that document, you have signed over to the CWA the exclusive rights to represent you for the purpose of collective bargaining concerning all terms and conditions of employment. That means that your ability to negotiate all your own working conditions will be turned over to CWA, just as the document says. Achieving our workplace culture aspirations will best occur through active, transparent dialogue between leaders and employees that we can act upon quickly. That is the better path than simply signing an electronic form offered to you by CWA or awaiting the outcome of a legally mandated and regulated bargaining process sometime in the future. If we fail to achieve the workplace goals we have set forth, we fail to do things we've committed to doing, then, of course, you will still always have the right to engage with and vote for CWA, Bulatow concludes. But we are confident that we will make the progress we've previously pledged to make and create a workplace with you that we can all be proud of. My God. We will break all that down.
Yeah. Oh boy.
Let me get a drink. Let me get some tea in this bad boy. That was a lot to digest. I understand it was. Let's break that down.
So it's sort of a boiling point again. This Activision Blizzard stuff, like listeners of this podcast will be under no illusions. It's just boiling over. The Raven software QA thing, I think, was just a straw that broke the camel's back, to be honest. Yep. Is now the thing that has been the catalyst for this walkout for them and the bid for unionization. So it's sort of like a dual thing for them. It's still, again, I think the protests are only limited right now to Raven software, not Activision as a whole. So I don't think there's any walkout on that sort of scale. But the bid for unionization is happening. As mentioned, they have that strike fund going on GoFundMe to hopefully try and support that and make that financially doable, because, again, they're not going to be paying people while they're out striking. Honestly,
it's crazy.
This is just the emotions of the way these things go. Like, you constantly read about this with the way these big companies work, and like Amazon, you constantly read about these union busting things. This email was like always going to be a thing, and it's a bit sickening to read. Just the way they like try and phrase it, like, hey, you have your right, but here's
if you sign this, then you don't have the right to come to us and talk to us. You actually have to go to someone else, a third party, and maybe, just maybe, that third party doesn't have the best in mind for you.
Yeah. Guys, we're fixing it. We swear.
We swear we're fixing it. But we're thinking about you, not the third party, but you. And we don't want a middleman between our communication between us and you. And it's normal union busting concepts.
It's completely devoid of the hypocrisy that the unionization and this sort of pushback against Activision Blizzard's practice to date is the whole reason they're deciding to change in the first place. So you know what I mean? Like, you can't just take it at their word. Like, the fact that you've been going for 15, 20, however many years, and you haven't changed these things, this is why something like this is happening. This is why there's pushback. And so you can't just turn around now and it's like, we'll fix all that.
Don't worry about it.
That is the mark of a hypocrite, to be honest. There's no other way to phrase it. You can't look
the writing's on the wall, pretty much.
Be very damning of Activision Blizzard.
Yeah.
Just every step along the way, they managed to just make the move that just paints the picture of what they are, which is quite scummy and predatory.
Yeah, I mean, the writing's on the wall when it comes to this one, and it's just kind of like it sooner or later something's going to fall, whether it's Bobby Kotick leaving, something has to happen, because you can't tell people, oh, we're working on it, when no, the only reason you are working on it now is because you got called out by the Wall Street Journal, by Bloomberg, by the big three consoles. Like, your ass is on the wall and they're like pinpointing you. So I don't understand. Well, I do understand because they're trying to save face, but this is not the way to do it. And good luck to you, Activision Blizzard. And honestly, stay strong, ABK, and everyone that's working hard to make it better for everyone to just make games. That's all we want.
I don't know if there's ever going to be a point where the board of directors basically turn on Bobby Kotick and remove him. But certainly if they allow unionization on any kind of like massive scale to happen on their watch, or on his watch, they're going to be pissed.
Yeah.
That's sort of a just the worst thing that could happen. Like,
it really is.
The that workers, get unionized. Yeah. It's honestly, yeah, again, like echoing the sentiments that you said, just like, yeah, like, I don't know, like the GoFundMe is out there. You can find it if you want to contribute to that fund.
Yeah.
That's like, everyone's been talking about, like, for months now, ever since this Activision Blizzard stuff came out, is like ways that me as a consumer can make an impact and like do something to Activision Blizzard to express my frustration and maybe like impact some change. So that is one way now that I actually think is a tangible way that you could do that.
Yes.
If you want to. And yeah, I just hope that this is a continuing story. And that, again, like, it's often quite tiring for us to bring it up on the podcast, but we need to.
Yep.
And as we do, hopefully, I just hope that in some sense we're contributing to more support out there for the workers, more support out there for those who are pushing back.
That and knowledge to really everyone who listens and watches.
Yeah, a future segment on Now to Play Games podcast. There we
go.
Until something changes.
Yeah, until something changes. Hopefully, we want to bring good news to you guys.
Obligatory fuck Ubisoft as well, and nobody's talking about it.
Exactly. Yeah. Why are we more? Yeah, we need to know what's going on with Ubisoft too, because that's bullshit. Mm-hmm. Finn, talk to me about Valkyrie Entertainment and what is going on over there, and PlayStation just gobbling more people up.
Yep. This is their 5th studio acquisition this year. Valkyrie Entertainment joined PlayStation Studios. I got this right up from Taylor Lyles over at IGN. PlayStation Studios head Herman Hulst announced today that Sony Interactive Entertainment has acquired independent developer Valkyrie Entertainment, making this the 17th studio under the PlayStation Studios umbrella. I looked, it's actually 18th. Fact checking IGN right there. Gotcha. And the 5th acquisition the gaming giant has made in 2021 alone. Founded in 2022, founded in 2002.
Holy crap, PlayStation's ahead of the curve.
We're in the future, man. Founded in 2002, Valkyrie Entertainment is a Seattle-based game developer best known for offering co-development services for several development studios. Valkyrie Entertainment's portfolio consists of assisting in the development of games such as Halo Infinite, Forza Motorsport 7, God of War 2018, and more recently, in September, the studio announced that it is helping Sony Santa Monica studio with developing the God of War Ragnarok project, which is slated for a 2022 release. So yeah, Sony seemingly bringing on a studio to help development with their other projects. This doesn't seem like a studio that will be developing anything of their own anytime soon, but they'll be helping out all the other studios. And the way Herman Hulst phrases it in this tweet, the studio will be making valuable contributions to key PlayStation Studios franchises, not necessarily making their own. So yeah, just a quick recap of like everything Sony's got so far. As I said, it's 18 studios now. They've got Team Asobi, Ben's Studio, Bluepoint. I forgot they acquired Bluepoint. I thought that was a dream, and then I looked it up today. And I was like, okay, yeah, I wasn't sure if I just made that up, but yeah, apparently that did happen.
It's been a long year, my friend, long year.
Firesprite, who they acquired this year, Guerrilla, Housemarque, who they also acquired this year, Insomniac, London Studio, Media Mogul, Naughty Dog, Nixxes, who they acquired this year, Pixel Opus, Polyphony Digital, San Diego Studio, Santa Monica Studio, Sucker Punch, XDev, and now Valkyrie Entertainment. I don't think the train's going to stop anytime soon, Joe.
No, I don't think so either. I think we're at that. I think we're at that point. I think Microsoft kind of laid down the gauntlet when they started buying everyone up, and you're like, "What are you doing?" And now, 5 years later, here we are. We're, like I said, singing the praises of Microsoft and what they're doing. We're starting to see the fruits bear of what they did, and I think now Sony's like, "Okay, all right. Well, I mean, I guess this Game Pass is working. I guess we're gonna have to make a Game Pass," and they're buying developers, they're buying studios, and they're giving them the money that they need to make games, and people are enjoying these games. So I think we're starting to see that all kind of roll out and do its own thing. Kind of like, we didn't actually put it in the run of show, but Nintendo's doing the same thing. Like, they're actually building a building in next to the Nintendo headquarters in Japan to actually have more in-house development go. So we're starting to see it, and people are going to start buying up teams left and right. So good luck to everyone.
It's a mixed bag with Sony as well, because you see the sort of obvious choices like Bluepoint and Housemarque. You see them trying to fill in gaps with something like Firesprite to do multiplayer stuff that they're not always keen on.
Yeah.
And then you have like these sort of support studios like Nixxes, who are going to be aimed at doing like PC ports for a lot of their studios, and Valkyrie Entertainment, who's going to be like probably moving between lots of different projects, helping out here and there. So yeah, they're sort of trying to cover a range.
I think it's smart too.
Yeah, it's very smart. Like, but yeah, as you said, like everyone's investing, because the games industry is doing so well, it's generating so much money at the minute. Like, they're seeing this giant influx of cash, and like, we got to spend this, we got to buy things, we got to grow, expand. Oh god, please get
we got to do everything. So yeah, it'll be fun. Good luck. Honestly, the one where I know you and I are probably sitting on to see who picks them up is the developer for Kana. Is that
Ember Lab?
Ember Lab. Thank you. Yeah, I want to know who they're going to get picked up by. Is it going to be? It's probably going to be Sony. Yeah, I think it's a Sony.
During our Game Awards reaction stream, like they're going to be like in the release week of their next game, I bet, in like
by the
3,
way,
4, 5 years time, and then Sony will be like, okay, yep, we got you.
Yep, you're ours now. So there it is. All right. Mm-hmm. Did you know Nintendo loses sometimes, guys? It happens. It really does happen. And Nintendo lost. I'm pulling from GameSpot's James Carr. Nintendo may have to change its policy for canceling pre-orders on the eShop after it lost a court case over a matter in Germany. The current policy is that digital pre-orders can be canceled up to a week prior to release, a change that the company made to the policy last year. As reported by Nintendo Life, James Carr pulled from them, a German court of appeals has reversed the decision that previously allowed Nintendo to have the 7-day policy for pre-order cancellations. The court sided with the Federation of German Consumer Organizations, the VZBV, oh my God, and the Norwegian Consumer Council, who argued that pre-orders should be held to the same standards as other digital purchases in Europe, allowing a 14-day period in which the product can be refunded. The decision, again translated by Nintendo Life, stated that since the preload was not a playable game, that the download is worthless to buyers, and that Nintendo does not fulfill its part of the exchange until the game's release date. Nintendo has not announced or made any changes to its pre-order policy on the eShop, but this decision will likely result in pre-orders being able to be refunded at least up until the game's release date, at least in the EU. Nintendo is not the only company with restrictive rules around digital games, with PlayStation only offering refunds within 14 days of purchase if you haven't begun to download the game yet, although it doesn't have any restrictions regarding pre-orders. Xbox has a similar policy, but it allows for its games in which you haven't accumulated a significant amount of time. Actually, yes, the 100%. I do, as much as we're like a lot of people say don't pre-order games because you don't know what you're getting. I still pre-order games. I'm going to be honest with everyone right now. I have Shovel Knight Pocket Dungeon on my Switch ready to go because I bought it. But yeah, if I hear that it kind of sucks or I don't want it, I don't have any way to actually return it because it's passed within that 7-day part.
Yeah, Nintendo, that's when review embargoes go out, is like a day before, 2 days before.
Exactly.
Like a week before for a review embargo was very generous. Hardly ever seen.
Yeah, and so within that 7 days, you can't return anything. And I think kind of bullshit. I'm gonna call it out. Like I love Nintendo, but I think that's bullshit. Like we should be able to, like, you know what, not feeling it, or because of the reviews, it's not my thing, or just, you know what, I shouldn't have pre-ordered it. I need the money back. As long as it's not fully playable or it hasn't fully released, then all I have is an icon on my Switch that doesn't do shit.
Yeah, I like how that was their main argument. Like, no, they have files on their Switch. Like, they got it.
Yeah, the file's there. The whole game is on my Switch. I just it's really funny just to go, all right, we're checking to see if you can play it. Oh, it's not time. You can't. And now I'm just like, all right, cool. It's just an icon, and it's something that's taken away storage on my Switch. So I think, yes, this should change. I hope it changes here in the US too, because as much as it pains a lot of people, and still me to some extent, we are in a now digital age, and sometimes we have to return things. I know it's going to be really hard, and we're going to have to figure all that all together, and there's going to be growing pains. Let's be absolutely honest. But if we pre-order games, we should be able to allow us to cancel those pre-orders and delete those games off of our systems if the game hasn't released, or significant time, or what, Steam's 2 hours after you buy the game or something like that.
I wonder if Cyberpunk was brought up at all in this court case, because that feels like the big recent thing that broke into mainstream media regarding this. I wonder if that was brought up at all. That'd be interesting. But yeah, lots of different policies. Like, they're slow, and like this has been a thing I feel like I've heard discussions about for over 10 years now. So it's always like a slow process. They eventually get there. Yeah. Like lawmakers and the justice system is always so much slower than digital media, seemingly. Like, by the time we regulate NFTs, it'll be too late.
Yep.
But yeah, the EU like normally tend to be the quickest, or at least the most aggressive on these things, because they like really value consumer rights as part of their thing. Obviously, now that I'm not in the EU anymore, I don't think I'll be getting the benefits of this either.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
So it'll be interesting.
Yeah, that's a good point.
But yeah, hopefully they just... It'd be interesting if they took this and just went, you know what, blanket policy around the world.
See, that's what I was actually going to like ask. Like, is that something we actually do need? And I say yes. Just if the three got together and Steam and everyone and just got together and like, all right, let's just make it easy on everyone and go, here's the policy. We're all going to hold ourselves accountable for this policy. And you can return the game up to the time it releases. Mm-hmm. I think that would make the most sense, and I think it'll become it'll be that point of like, all right, cool, I don't want the game, I can return it, or I can hear what the reviews say, and I'm not picking up the game, or I'm returning the game or anything like that. So yeah, I think having one globally accepted concept of returning games, digital games, I think we all win as gamers on that one.
And it's not perfect, but like Steam's is probably my favorite.
Yes,
just because it's so clear. It has to be within 2 weeks of purchase, and you have to have played less than 2 hours. And obviously that doesn't like, it's not perfect for every game, because like some games are like less than 2 hours and stuff, but that gives you a good window to figure out like if there's technical issues, or if people like lied in the game's trailers or whatever, just like to quickly just catch all of issues like that. So that policy, that would be one I'd be happy with. Because I know I've tried like refunding games in a few instances where I was like, I'm sure I can refund this, but it didn't work, and I was like, oh, okay, well.
Thanks for that. Yeah, and when it comes to Steam, yeah, you're right, because I think one developer actually came out and said, yeah, I'm just going to stop developing games because I make my game so short so people can play my game and then return it, and that's like, it.
Inside and Limbo, you can beat in under 2 hours.
Yes. So we've got to find a balance for that, because I think it's both consumer friendly and going the way that Activision doesn't want to go, perception friendly for everyone. So I think you kind of just like, what's the best course of action for it? So yeah, there's got to be something we could all do and agree on when it comes to that. All right. You know what? With that, let's call that a podcast. This has been your weekly Now to Play Games podcast. If you're here with us live on twitch.tv/Now to Play Games, thanks so much for hanging out with us. If you haven't followed, do it now, because we're awesome and you're awesome too. If you're watching the video on the YouTube channel, Now to Play Games, don't forget to subscribe. Again, I will play Crash Bandicoot 4 all the way through if you guys get us to 100 subs before January 1st, 2022. I'm just putting that out there. If you're a podcast listener, go ahead and give us a follow and a review. You are the absolute best. And with that, I'm John. That's Finn. Rose is keeping us straight and keeping time for us and making this flow as best as possible. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Now go play some games, and we will see you next week. Bye.